Okay, let's get started, guys. Let's see. Okay. Hi, everyone. Yeah, so anyone who was at the stream last night will know I had a bit of disaster with the machine head. Actually, it turned out to be on the Bouzouki. All it needed to do was a wee bit of tightening to it and then change a couple of strings around. So it was just the tension on the bass strings was, whenever I was tuning my Bouzouki, it was just untuning itself. It was just, wasn't tight enough. So I fixed it. And the Bouzouki is hopefully, I shouldn't have said this, it's back to normal, because now, of course, is when it won't be back to normal. But I think it's been good all day. So we'll be using the Bouzouki tonight as well. And what I was planning to do tonight was actually to go through something that somebody asked me a question in the music theory course. So it's actually outside of the trad stuff, but it is actually to do with the trad stuff. And it's how do you add in ornaments and variations and everything. Now, this was to do with theory, and was also to do, another student asked me the same thing when it came to, playing ornaments on the piano. But this, I thought, would be a good topic for trad. What happens if you're using, say, the session.org and you've got, access to basically every tune that's probably been ever written. You could actually go and get it now. On the session.org, or you can buy, loads and loads for bargain prices, loads of collections of Irish traditional music, and I have loads of them. The most recent one I got was Michael McGoldrick's one, which is fantastic because he's I would say maybe in the top 3 favorite maybe the top 2 favorite flute players of all time. There's a Belfast guy who's a fantastic flute player. I'm gonna do a whole class on him. I'm not going to tell you. It's going to be a surprise in a couple of weeks. He actually makes flutes as well. He's one of my favourite flute players. Got his album. There's Matt Malloy, of course, from the Chieftains, and there's Michael McGoldrick's stuff. And he released recently a book of all the stuff that he's performed over the years, all the tunes he's written. And I was thinking, if students have these things, how do you turn it into, a traditional sounding tune? So you guys may have access to a lot of notated tunes, but what do you do with them? How do you know that what you're creating is a trad sound? Speaking of sound, let me check my sound. Make sure that I'm coming through. You guys may have access to a lot of notated tunes, but what do you do with them? Oh, okay, I know what's going on there. I need to add in. That's my tin whistle audio. Oh, it should be back to my normal audio. I'm just going to check to make sure my normal audio is back up. I'll be using the tin whistle tonight. Spoiler alert. Okay, so just let me check to add in. That's my tin whistle audio. That's my tin whistle audio. Oh, it should be back to my normal audio. I'm just going to check to make sure that's my normal audio with a bit of a deeper voice and everything. Okay. So that's my normal audio. I'll be swapping over to the tin whistle audio quite quickly. But I'm just going to keep it open here just to remind me that I use 2 different audios from the same microphone for you guys, one to speak into and one to play into. So I obviously don't want the same one for the tin whistle, otherwise it'll deafen you. But we will be looking at the tin whistle and the Bouzouki tonight. And how to look at a piece of music and translate it into traditional music. Okay, so that's going to be tonight's topic. You have a sheet of music that you're learning from. You may not even have access to the audio file, although nowadays you should be able to go into things like YouTube or Spotify and hear thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people play these tunes. So it's not as if it's what it was like when I was learning, that I had to go and find either a CD or a tape of somebody performing it to hear what it sounds like. So it is much easier than it used to be because of social media and access to YouTube and stuff. So it is easier to get the recordings of somebody playing a tune. But what happens if you have like the sheet music in front of you, either the ABC or the notated, standard notation? How do you turn that into like a trad sound? Like, where do you put your ornaments? Where do you put your variations? And I'm going to show you guys how I do it, and also adding chords to that. So it's going to be a bit of a weird one tonight, where there's tin whistle, there's going to be bouzouki, there's going to be theory, there's going to be ornaments, there's going to be variations. And we're just going to take one tune and sort of try and do all of it to one tune. Now, I was telling you guys that my one of my favorite flute players was Michael McGoldrick, and that's where I heard this tune that we're going to look at. I'm going to swap over to desktop so you guys can actually see it. It's called the Maids of Cisco, and that's where I first heard this tune being performed, was the playing of Michael McGoldrick. I think it was one of his early albums, Morning Rory. I think it was something, the Morning Rory, I think it was his first, was it his first kid or his second kid? It shows you how long ago it was, because all of his kids are grown up now. So, but it was written, the whole album was a sort of a tribute to his kids, and this is one of the tunes that he was playing on that. It's a brilliant rendition that he does. I can't play it for you guys, obviously, for copyright reasons, but I highly recommend going and getting his album, Morning Rory, I think it's called. Let me check. There's no harm in checking. I shall bring up, I'm not going to play it, but I'll bring up the Apple just so I can show you guys what it looks like. Morning Rory. Yeah. Please don't play when I click on it. Thank goodness. Okay. Yeah, there it is. 1996. Yeah, so his kids are, goodness, that shows how old we're all getting. His kids are well grown up by now. Yeah, there's Baby Rory Slipjig. I've learned that one as well. But the Maids of Cisco was one of the tunes I got. Yeah, it's track number 10. That's the first time I heard it in 1996. So it's brilliant tune, one of my favorite tunes, and I'm going to show you guys how I would take, if I was downloading that from the session.org, just like this. How do I make that sound traddy? How's it going to sound like an Irish traditional tune? Where do you put in all the little ornaments, the rolls, the triplets, the cuts, that type of thing? And then if you're adding chords to it, if you're a bouzouki player or a guitar player, where would you add your chords? And how do you add your chords to it? Yeah, so that's what we're going to be looking at tonight. And as usual, as we go through this, guys, if you have any questions, do get in contact, let me know. Or if you're jumping in at any stage, you can type it underneath in the comments section, and I will get back to you that way, whatever sits. Okay, so here we go. Let's see. Maids of Cisco. So how do you get this to start with? Well, you go to the session.org, and I'll show you how I got the file. This is what you could be working off from, or you could be using the ABC, whatever. If you just go into Safari or into Google Chrome, it doesn't really matter, whatever search engine you're using, go to the session.org. That is kind of like the library of everything to do with tunes. And welcome, Valcha, welcome. If you type in here, search tunes, you can search anything, recordings, sessions, discussions. Like, there's so much that you can do nowadays. So we're just searching for tunes. That's kind of the default that it starts on, because that's what most people tend to use this for, as well as discussion forums. So if we go into tunes and just type in the Maids of Cisco, hit enter, there's going to give you quite a lot of results here. Usually the first one, it'll tell you the type, it's a reel, and yeah, sometimes it gives you the Irish as well. Actually, I didn't know that had an Irish title, but there you go. Mount Cisco or Cisco, that's a slightly different spelling to it. But if I go in there, if I just click on that, that should take us there. You can see that there's loads. Paddy Calorn, there you go. There's loads of different spellings to it. So, yeah, it's usually going to be the first one or maybe the second one to look out for. It'll even tell you all the hundreds of recordings that it's on. So it's a very popular tune. There's 22 videos of people playing it. There you go. So you can easily find the audio to it. I'm just going to open up the recordings to see. Oh my God, it's basically a who's who. My goodness. So it's every single famous tune existing. Oh my goodness. Even Shebeg Shimorg is played with it. There you go. Didn't know that. And also all the different recordings that do it as well. I wonder if Michael McGoldrick's on this. There's Breach Harper. Let's see. Michael. Yep. Michael McGoldrick, Morning Rory. There's the album. And if you click on that as well, you should, I'll show you where to hear it in Spotify or Apple Music or loads of other places. And there it is again, as I said, track 10. You can see how useful the session.org is. You can easily find tunes. You can easily find the recordings to them, who's recorded them, other tunes that it goes with, how popular they are. If we just click on this just to see. Oh, it even gives us a wee thing of it. Oh, I've clicked on the wrong one, sorry. Go back. I just want to see what type of loads of different types. My goodness. So there's the very first one tends to be quite accurate for these type of tunes. So this is the sheet music of it. You can go in, click here and get the ABC of it. You can copy that into any document, or you can download the ABC or even the MIDI. That's what I do. It's not really anything to do with the ABC. It's just the MIDI. It's the notes. So that can be a wee bit tricky for people finding that for the first time. When you go into sheet music, you'll see that there's just play audio and just print it. And that's fine. What happens if you want to download this into MuseScore like I did here and play it back and change the speed and play along with it? You know, that's why it's really useful to have MuseScore, because you can change how fast to play along with it or how slow to play along with it. Well, you can't really do that here. You've got to click on the ABC and then click the download button here and then click MIDI here. So for me, that's kind of in the wrong place. I would expect that to have been with the sheet music. You can download the ABC as well, but the MIDI I think should have been over here with the sheet music. That's what you'll probably see right off the bat is the sheet music. That tends to be how most people are learning tunes now. There's even little ideas of how to put in ornaments already. You see all these little mordants above these notes. That's kind of classical notation telling you where to put in ornaments, but we tend not to actually use classical notation ornaments like trills and, you know, appoggiatures and accacciatures, grace notes, although we do use cuts. And upper mordants, lower mordants, those are all classical ornaments. In trad music, we use things like cuts, crans, rolls, triplets, even though they're not really triplets. So that's our ornamentation. So yeah, it's just a nice visual aid, but be wary when you download the audio from MIDI that it may not be exactly the way to play it. So what I tend to advise students to do is try to find a version of the tune. This is a hard one where there aren't any ornaments. Yeah, this is the one I think I downloaded where it's just nice and clean. There's a couple of triplets that I took out, but you know, we can put them back in. That's no problem. So for me, these are the versions I tend to download, the ones that are just blank, because they're easier to work with, I think. Okay, so you've gone into the session.org, you know the tune that you're looking for, you can find the album that it's on, you can find other tunes that it's played with, and you can find the notation, you can download the MIDI, you can get different versions of it. So, once you've downloaded it, let me just try downloading this again. What do you do? So you click on MIDI, and it literally will be within a split second, because MIDI files are titchy, guys, like 3 kilobytes. That downloaded it quicker than you could move your mouse to get access to it. So that's it there. You just drag that to your desktop. Okay, so we can actually say goodbye to Safari. We don't need it. What do you do now? Well, there's two things you can do. You can, of course, just right click on this file and open it. Oops. Right click, open with, and the default program that opens MIDI files on my computer is Logic Pro. Very handy if you're downloading MIDI files to manipulate the sounds and you want to create your own sort of track or your own tunes. I'm not looking to do that. I want to download it straight into MuseScore, and that's what I did. So if I download that into MuseScore, you can see that it'll take a wee minute just to go through it. The thing that I don't like when it does this, guys, it doesn't recognize repeats. It literally will just repeat the whole, each section again and again. So if I was just to change this a little, format it just to make it a bit easier to see, you guys should see that when we have 4 bars here and we have 4 bars here, the next 4 bars here is the same as these 4 bars at the start, because it's a repeat. And then these 4 bars here are a repeat of these 4 bars from bar 5 to bar 8. So bars 1 to 4 are the same as bars 9 to 12, and bars 5 to 8 are the same as bars 13 to 16. So there's a lot that you don't need. I just delete them out. So I would delete out, delete those bars there and delete these bars here. And yeah, I know that's now the A section actually. I can put my repeat marks in if I go to bar lines here. You guys don't have to do any of this if you don't want to, but I like the cleaner look of just having everything what I need on the page, not having like the whole thing repeats and all. It just makes it, to me, it just makes it look a wee bit harder to learn if you have like a big A4 page of, one line after the other. Whereas that to me is much cleaner. I know looking at that's going to be easy enough to just remember to repeat that. Again, here is, this is the second part. And yeah, let me see. Yeah, a little part there. Don't need this. This is all repeat. So I'm just going to delete it. Down to here. Don't need any of that. That's exactly the same as this was bar 9 to bar 16. So bar 17 to bar 24, same stuff. Don't need it. Just delete that as well. And yeah, that should be almost it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this will be our C part. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do the same thing. I do it every 4 bars just to space it out a wee bit nicer. So these 4 bars here should be the same as these 4 bars here. So I don't actually need any of this because it's already written up here. It's just going to be the repeat, just like we did for the A section. This is the C part of the tune. Let's delete those bars, don't need them. And then of course these 4 bars are exactly the same as the previous 4 bars. Don't need those either, delete them. And there we go. I think that's much easier to work off that page than what we had at the start, because all you have is all you need right there. You don't have any sort of additional stuff that makes the tune look twice as long as it is. Yeah, so I've already done all that, but I'm just showing you guys what I do when I the process I use. So I've already done this, and I'm just going to show you, here's one I made earlier type of thing. So let's not save that because I don't actually need this. I just wanted to demonstrate how I do it, and I'll show you guys my final version. I think I'm doing this as a blog, aren't I? Yeah. So it's going to be down here. These are all my blogs from the past. If I go into Maids and Mount Cisco, it should be here. Hopefully. Yeah. Okay, so there it is. I put in the title. That's the only thing I've added there. The title. I could probably put in Paddy Kaloran as well, the composer. And also I put in the ABC. Now, the reason I've done that is I don't actually use ABC, guys, but I know there's going to be some students who'll find that useful. So why not include it? And the way that I did that was put in like lyric. If I just hit Command L on the keyboard, I can add in lyrics. I can add in a second verse, actually. So the program thinks I'm adding in lyrics for each note. It's not really. It's literally one letter per note. The capitals are for lowercase, or the capitals are for lowercase. The capitals are for lower notes, and the uppercase, or the smaller notes, are for the higher notes. That tends to be, not always, but that tends to be the way that the session.org and other places, approach pitch. So the capitals are for the bass notes, and the smaller notes are for the higher pitched notes. Okay, so I know some people do it the other way around. I know some people who do it capital all the way and would do maybe something like put in E with a little thing next to it, like a little thing like that. Let me see, like a little 1 or something. It'd probably be more like that, yeah. For higher up or something. I think that looks, even harder to read. So I don't do that. I just keep it as small notes for high pitches. There we go. I'm just going to double check to make sure there aren't any. Because I'm going to record this on the whistle, and I want to make sure that I've got the right notation for everything for you guys. I think that looks pretty good. D B G dum dum da doodle doodle dum A B doodle dum bum D G B G A B dum. This looks okay. Have a little check. Yeah, if there are any mistakes, it's probably only 1 or 2. I can't see any though. I think it looks okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's okay. Good. Okay, so how do we know that it's Dorian? Well, that would be something to watch out for, is the tone semitone pattern. If you guys were there last night or have seen my other videos on modes, you will know that the Dorian mode is made up of very specific pattern of tones and semitones. So if we just write in what those are, it's the same as D to D on your piano without any white notes. So the D to, if I show you guys actually on the piano, I just play it. Okay, so there's your D to D on the piano. So D to E would be a tone, because there's a note in between. Let's do that actually, let's write it out. Yeah, so... oh. There we go. Okay, so D to E would be a tone. E to F is a semitone, so let's put a semitone in. F to G is a tone. Let's put that in. G to A is a tone. Let's put that in. A to B is a tone. Let's put that in. B to C is a semitone. C to D is a tone. Okay, so let me just double check that. D to E is a tone. E to F is a semitone. Then we've got tone, 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 semitone, tone. Okay, now if we do the same thing but starting on A, because this is going to be A Dorian, let's do that. So tone, same thing again. Semitone will get us B to C. Tone, tone, tone. So tone, 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 F sharp we need. And then semitone, and then tone. So A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, E, F sharp. So da da. It's very important to get that. F sharp to G is a semitone, and G to A is a tone. So it is like the A Dorian mode, and there's a couple of occasions where you need to be able to spot that F sharp. So if I just, make this big, you guys can see there's an F sharp there. There's an F sharp there. Oh my goodness, I didn't realize that zoomed out so far. There's also an F sharp here. There's only a few of them in the whole piece. probably one of the least used notes actually, but they're critical for giving the flavor to the piece. You know, the Dorian mode. If it didn't have the F sharp, if it was just F natural, that would be the Aeolian mode. So that one note difference completely changes the mode you're using and completely changes the harmony you're using, because we can use D major chords in this, D, F sharp, and A. Whereas if we were doing the Aeolian mode, we'd be using D minor chords and probably F major chords. So you get more of this sort of sound. F. Just going to check to make sure it's actually coming through. Yeah, it is. Da da dum. F major, G major, A minor chord. Whereas in the Dorian mode, you're going to get D major with that F sharp, G major, and A minor. So the difference between each mode is something like this. Whereas the Aeolian is that, not. Very different chord. D major or F major. So yeah, it depends on the mode you're using. It's going to affect the harmony. So that's something that's worth, if you're a bouzouki or a guitar player, you definitely should, you know, study your modes a little. If you're just a trad player, it's worth you, if you're just like playing the tune, it's worth you knowing that as well, because you could give that information to someone who's accompanying you, rather than just saying, oh, it's an A minor, which it isn't. A minor would have G sharps, and there are no G sharps in this piece. So be careful with the terminology you're using, because you could say it, especially if you're doing a session with international players, you know, from all over the world, or you're in another country playing a piece of music. If you say the piece is an A minor, anyone who's got any musical training will start thinking there's G sharps in it. You know, to get that G sharp, A, and that's not what you have here. There's no G sharps at all. So I'll highlight those little guys in F sharps just so they stand out, just so you can see them easily. There we go. Yeah. If I just make this a little bit larger, there we go. I'm just trying to make sure my big head doesn't block it, guys. So yeah, I'll just trying. Well, I'll just remember that I'm here. On what you see. I don't see this on my screen, but yeah, you guys see it. Okay. Just make sure I haven't missed any F sharps. I think those are all of them. Let me have we check just to be sure. Yep, I think that's all of them. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the whole piece. As I say, it's probably the rarest note in the whole piece, but it's so important. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play along with a metronome to this. I'll probably actually end up using Logic Pro and just keep it at a nice sort of slow pace. Let me see. I use Logic for this, just to give me an idea. I could use the boron, or I could just use a click track. Let me see, what's the boron sound like in this? Actually a wee bit too quick. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a metronome and keep it nice and sort of slow, because that's a wee bit fast. I want to sort of play it as is, dry, just no ornamentation whatsoever, just to give you guys an idea of how what is written, what it's going to sound like, and it's not really what you should be aiming for, you know, confusingly. So maybe I could play along with the thing. I'm going to slow that down as well and keep a tick-tock going. Oh, it doesn't like that. Okay, let me see if I just put that here. Where's my tempo? There it is. 80's probably too slow. Yeah, it's a wee bit slow. I'm just going to increase it to 100. Okay. Let me activate tin whistle. Okay, here we go. Hopefully my voice is still coming through. Yeah, but it won't sound as good. Okay, here we go from the start. I'll try playing along with it. If I can record myself. I think the easiest way to do that would probably be audio hijack. Yeah. Okay, here's the recording. Okay. Okay, I'm going to swap over to Tin Whistle Cam. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see my fingers for this. I'm going to play through it again, but this time you should be able to see the fingering, just in case there's anybody out there who's learning the tin whistle, just to see exactly what what fingers I'm using. Try and get rid of all the grey hair in my thing as well. Okay, you might still be able to hear. I'm hoping you're still able to hear the piano. Yeah, I think that is coming through. Okay, let's take it from the start again. Okay. Right. Let me just go back to desktop view. Okay. Actually, I'm going to check, see what that sounds like. I have to check that because it's the first time I've done the tin whistle camera with this. So just bear with me 2 seconds. Nowadays, you should be able to go into things like you. I only realized when I was doing it that I need to scroll down. And, you know, how do you do that when you've got 2 hands that need to be playing? So apologies for some of the times you see me like moving my hand away. It's to use the mouse to scroll down the page. Because I actually don't know it slowed down. I know how to play at full speed, you know, without thinking anymore. But trying to play it exactly as written actually requires more effort now. And you'll find that when you start learning a tune really well, that when you see it written down and you're trying to play it exactly as written, like as if you were a classical musician, that is a lot harder to do. So, yeah, you don't need to do that. Okay. So, where do we add in the ornaments? Okay, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play that up to full speed. Well, not full speed, but fast enough where you can hear the ornamentation. Okay, so it might be easier to do this without this open, in fact, and just do it with the logic, so you guys can hear how it's going to sound more traditional. If I just do it like this. I probably don't need to keep recording, actually. I can stop the recording. Yeah, I don't need that. There we go. And just make sure I'm still on tin whistle. I am. Okay. So here we go. If I just do it from here, maybe. To that looks a wee bit weird, actually. Just not sure if you guys. Yeah, it shouldn't look like that. Okay. It just sorted itself out. Hopefully it's coming through. So I'm just going to put it back to tin whistle and then just do it again so you guys can see the difference. So remember we were doing, that's becoming. Okay, it's not just speeding up, but there's ornaments being added in. We're going to go through how you get from one to the other. How do you get from the bare basic skeleton tune to like a proper trad sort of sound? Okay, here we go. I'm going to take it from here. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Yeah, I was trying to do something on the spot there and didn't really work. But yeah, we got most of it. Okay, if I just go back to desktop, um, what does that sound like? I only recorded a wee bit of it. Um, okay, I think just turn the boron down a wee bit. Yeah. If you're wondering what the other things are, I've added in shimmer shakes and stuff, but I just wanted the boron sound on its own. If I just add the shimmer shakes and the session percussion, it just gets a wee bit more percussive. I think it sounds better just with the boron. But you can add other stuff. That's the other nice thing about, practicing. This is my metronome. I have this saved, like new reel accompaniment for social media. I do that for anything. Like if I'm doing something for Instagram or YouTube or Facebook, I have like the boron, the shimmer shake, and the session percussionist good to go. Just this saved as a file, and it means I can always drop in any reel that I want because there's no harmony or anything. It's just a metronome, and if I want to have like a backing track, it's nicer to listen to that rather than click, click, click. So if you happen to have like a DAW, like a digital audio workstation, like what I'm using there, which is, sorry, it's a bit of cramp on my shoulder. That is Logic Pro, but you can be using things like Ableton and Pro Tools and other things. So, you don't have to be using this one. But I kind of like it. Logic Pro is really easy to use for me anyway. Okay. So let's see if I minimize that just for a second. There we go. And we're going to go back to Maids and Cisco just to show you how we get to this. Where do we add in? If you're looking at the score, where do you add in stuff? I'm going to turn off the tin whistle. We don't really need this just yet. Of the OBS microphone. Okay. So the first thing to say is when you've got two notes next to each other like this. This tends to happen quite a bit in reels where you've got like an A, in this case, quaver next to an A crotchet. So whenever you have an A quaver and an A crotchet, or just a quaver and a crotchet, that's actually worth 3 quavers in total. There's 1 quaver here, and then there's 2 quavers inside of that crotchet. So when you have 3 quaver, or the worth of 3 quavers of the same note, you can put in a full row. And that's what we were doing there. So instead of this, you could put in a roll, which I notate for my students as da-dum, ba-ba-bum. Instead of like a little triplet or something, I tend to put in that. So, ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. I need a lyric for that too. There we go. And the same thing here. Ba bum bum. I'm gonna play it. That's how I played it before. So I will do that again at the end when I activate the tin whistle microphone. But I'm just gonna put everything in just to show you the amount of stuff you guys should be thinking about when you're learning off notation or you're learning off ABC. If you have long notes like this, you should be decorating them. Okay, so anytime you see a crotchet, don't leave it just on its own. Anytime you see a crotchet with a quaver of the same pitch, like in this case it's an A crotchet and an A quaver, that should be a full roll. Da 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 dum. And as anyone who will teach you, like in any of your instruments, will tell you that there's usually 3 parts to a roll. You know, there's the you play the note, then you cut the note, then you tap the note. In the case of the tin whistle, so you play it, cut it with a note above, and then tap it with a note beneath. And I'll demonstrate that to you guys later on. So bam 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 bam. Same thing here then. Do 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 dum. We're gonna put that in as well. So. Don't be worrying about having to rewrite it or anything. It's just, I'm just showing you guys, you know, you could just circle it if you've got to print it out and just say roll. You know, I'm just putting it in just to show you. Guess what? Same thing again. Do-do-do-do-dum. Oops. There and there. So I'm going to go through the whole thing and just start adding in rolls. There. There and here. Yeah. And here. Because these are dotted crotchets. So yeah, that's worth mentioning. You've got up above, we had crotchets and quavers. We're making it into full roll. Sometimes you guys will see it written as a dotted crotchet, which if you're doing music theory, you know that a crotchet's worth 2 quavers, and the dot next to it is half. Okay, so half of a crotchet is a quaver. So the crotchet is worth 2, the dot is worth 1 quaver. Add those together and you get 3 quavers worth. So a dotted crotchet is worth 3 quavers, and like before, a quaver plus a crotchet is worth 3 quavers. They're exactly the same length. So it may look different. It looks very different. Like if we just undo the previous thing we did, you can see the way like the A crotchet and the A quaver, you add those together, it's equal to 3. But this one note is already equal to 3, so you don't need to add anything together. So you should be decorating them the same way as we're doing for these rolls. So this A dotted crotchet should be. We'll get to that G in a minute. A there again. That's going to be a full roll. A there again. That's going to be a full roll. And A there again. Okay. A Dorian, my goodness, there's a lot of rolls in this. So if I just highlight, I'm going to make those rolls. Well, we've highlighted the F sharp. I'm going to make these blue. Do do doodle doodle dum. And I'm going to add that in every time. Here. That's going to be here. Going to be here. That's going to be here. There's a G one up here as well. We'll get to those G's actually in a sec. There's an A one here. Just doing all the A's first. Look how many A rolls there are highlighted in blue. Doodle doodle. And also up here, I missed this one. And these ones, oh my goodness. So the second section, yeah, we'll need to do that as well. Okay. Do. Same thing, put in a roll. A roll. A roll. G roll. A roll. A lot of rolls. Same thing then. This should have a little A pitch underneath. There we go. Let's make him blue as well. We're going to make all the full rolls blue. So there. That's going to happen here as well. It's going to happen here. Which should be this. And here. Oops. Sorry, I just copied the wrong thing. There we go. Okay, G. That should be a full roll as well. So you do not have to put these in everywhere. But just bear in mind that Irish traditional music is highly decorative. A lot of it is based on sort of the same sort of time period in classical music. You had all the Baroque dances, like the Salamand, the Allemande, you know, the English jig. So all of these like binary form 2-section dances that are from the classical era are also highly decorative. Like the whole Baroque era itself, music was highly decorated. So although you wouldn't have to put them in all the time everywhere, you'll be putting a lot of them in. So it's good to sort of know everywhere you can put them in, because more often than not, you will be doing this. You will be decorating them more often than not. Okay, so G there. That's another one. Nearly every bar, as you can tell, as having a full roll in it. Oops, that's the wrong thing. Try this again. I'm just going to get rid of these red... Oh, sorry. Well, I'm just going to get rid of these red F sharps because I don't want you thinking those are ornaments. So, yeah. We'll just put these back to being just ordinary. There we go. Okay, just zoom out a smidgen. So I'm just looking at the color. Look how many blues there are. Those are all rolls. Vast majority of them are A rolls, but you have an A roll, G roll, G roll, A roll, A roll, A roll, A roll, A roll, A, G, A. So there's only really sort of 3 G rolls in the whole piece, and then there's like what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 A rolls, as you'd probably expect in a tune that's in A Dorian. A is going to be the most repeated note. Okay, that's the first one. The second one is half rolls. Now, if full rolls occur when it's worth 3 of something, like that could be a dotted crotchet, 3 quavers, or a crotchet plus a quaver, that's worth 3 quavers as well. Then half rolls only occur when it's worth a crotchet, when it's worth 2 somethings. Okay, so when you see like a crotchet on its own, there. Okay, let me see what would be the best way to rotate this. Would it be better to show you guys the cuts? Show you how decorative it can get? Well, we'll see. Yeah, well, we'll put that in for the G roll anyway. We'll put in the cuts. Just to show you how some books notate it. For me, I've never liked looking at it this way because it can be a little bit off-putting when you see, like, you know, little small notes being used, little articulations and things being used when it gets really detailed. It's just a G roll. So you guys shouldn't really have to notate it this way, but it's just to bear in mind that this is the way it should sort of, you should be thinking of where ornaments go. So don't think you have to write it out this way because it can put some people off. Like if I put in like a little, yeah, that'll go. Let me see. Okay, so that's gonna go there. Oh, sorry, and another one there. There we go. So you can see that on the half roll that you are cutting right away. You don't play the note and then cut and then tap. You cut right away. So it should be biadam. You're having that little cut of the G right away with a little tiny little A right at the start. And then you're tapping with the note underneath. So you always cut with a note above and tap with a note beneath. So this is the cut. This is the tap. And it's just the notes on either side of that G. So very quickly play an A. That's the cut. And then very quickly tap with the F sharp underneath. Some pipers will do it with the E. So it will look something like, you know, this when you're doing it with the A. You're cutting and then tapping. cut, tap, or you could do it with the E, cut, with the F sharp and the E, cut and tap. With the G, you're cutting and then tapping with either the E or the F sharp. So I tend to do it with, when the whistle, it would be with the F sharp. So let's do it that way. Yeah. Okay, so this is what it'll sound like. Doesn't sound very good, I think, in the playback. It's a wee bit clumsy, but that's what this is what it should look like. If I was to write out the proper A roll, it would be 3 A's, remember? But it sounds better like this, but it would be sometimes written out like this. And again, you'd be playing the note, then cutting with the note above. And then tapping with the note. Oh, it's going to make this a bit higher. Tapping with the note underneath. I think G is probably the one I use most often. So there is your full roll written out properly. If you want to write it out properly, I think it looks cleaner just writing it as it would sound. Da-da-dum. But that's really what the physical playing should look like for the tin whistle or for the pipes or for the whistle. That's the little notes that are coming out of your instrument, these guys here. So that's more accurate of what you're physically playing. This is more accurate of what you're physically producing and the sound of it. This is better sound representation. Okay, so as opposed to this. That's not what it should sound like. But that's what it should look like. But it's not how it should sound like. So let's color it anyway, just to keep it in the same sort of grouping as blue. Yeah. So I'll do a couple of them just to remind us that this is what it should. Oh, they're going to be a bit weird. There we go. This is what it should look like. There we go. Might be a better way of writing this. We put it here. Yeah, that's a better place. I don't want to lose the B. There we go. So instead of going da 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 dum, it's ba bum ba dum ba dum. So if I was to play that, I'm just going to swap back over to the whistle just for a second, just to let you hear it. Okay. Sorry, it's just fighting me there for some reason. Okay, just make sure I'm still coming through. Yep. And the OBS is as well. So if I go back to tin whistle camera just for a sec. That's your tops. You can see how quick they are. And your cuts. So yeah, it's easier actually to play it faster. When you start having to think about each individual cut and tap, it can get a wee bit confusing. So that's the note, and then cut, then tap. That's a full roll. Half roll would be full. Half. That's half roll. That's full roll. So one is worth 3, the other's worth 2. Full roll is worth 3 quavers, half roll is worth 2. Yeah, so if we just go back and also get the audio right, I have to remember to keep doing this every single time. There we go. Back to normality. Yeah, so this is better. That's really what it should sound like. But I'm going to show you guys the performance of it. Oops. Just to keep it similar in style. Same thing for the G. If I was to go, let me see, here, but then just move it all. Oh, I was going to say move it all down. And change these to G. There we go. Yeah, it's work. It's gonna work. Just add it there. Okay, and add the A's back in. That should be it. Oh, I forgot the G down here. There. There we go. Okay, it's squished over one extra bar. Why is that? 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. This should all be one line. There we go. And this should all be one line. Yeah, so you can see now, some people don't like it, seeing the roll written out like this. It doesn't make any difference to me. I think it makes more sense to see it written out like this, because you get to see exactly what is involved in the ornamentation. Just be aware that if you're playing along with MuseScore, it's not going to sound the way it should. It's much closer to 2 semiquavers plus a quaver, da-da-dum, da-da-dum, rather than this, ba-ba-da-ba-dum. But at least you get to see exactly how each ornament is made up. So we'll go through it again at the end of everything written in. Okay, it's the G roll. I should probably do this one red. Yeah. And this is the full roll. Again here. Again here. Sorry. There we go. And that all should actually be small A's. There we go. Boom, boom. Oh. Wrong place, I think. Yeah, apologies, guys. Should have gone here. There we go. And make them all small A's again. There we go. Same thing there. I can actually just copy this now. Paste in there. Same thing here. Same thing here. Anything I've missed? I don't think so. I think that's basically it. The G one also comes back here. Any others? I think there's a G one here. Yeah, just move it all up. And keep those guys as lowercase. There we go. That could actually be a full rule, come to think of it. Yeah, I'll do that as a full G rule. Because there is a G. If you're wondering why, there's a full G that comes after it. Sorry, I just keep zooming in and out for some reason. There we go. There's a G over here. Because there's 3 Gs in a row, we could actually get away with just, yeah, this full G roll. Just keep them as Gs, small Gs. Oops. Yeah, so there's a full A roll and immediately afterwards a full G roll. Da 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 da. Okay, what's going on? Actually, that should be an octave low. Yeah, let's do that. It's just low. Yeah, it's better. Was there only 2 half rolls in the whole piece then? Yeah, there were. These are the G half rolls and the A full rolls. Just squish this back into 4 bars per line. There we go. Okay, that takes care of quite a lot of the ornamentation, guys. Now the next one, BCD triplets. I'm gonna write it in as the triplets. Again, what it should sound like is 2 semiquavers quaver. Da-da-dum, ba-ba-bum. So you should have 2 semiquavers quaver. Okay, so it's not going to be as written, but I'm going to put in what you guys should, you're going to hear it being called triplets, even though technically speaking it's not. That's not how it sounds. Oh, didn't want that. I want this to be tripletized. There is such a word. Let me see. Tuplets, triplets. There we go. Okay, thankfully I'd be able to copy and paste this. The way that's performed on MuseScore, and any classical musician would perform this wrong. Ba 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 ba. There's nobody in trad music who performs a triplet like a triplet. Da 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 da, like that. It's da da dum ba ba bum, BCD BCD. So it should be semiquaver semiquaver quaver, da da dum like this. That's never going to be ba 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 ba. So you never go. You don't do that. It's ba 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 ba. We're going to keep it as that because that's the way it's written in the books. Now, where do you put this in? Anytime there's a B to a D, quaver like that. So here is what it looked like before. If we just go back to what it was, B to D, you can put in a triplet there. Ba-ba-bum. It's one of the most common places in trad music to see triplets is in the B and the D. We're going to color it green just to make it stand out a bit better. So anywhere we see B into D. Okay, so there's one. Any others? Here as well. Can I just copy it in there? Yeah, okay. I'll reformat it in a sec. It's going a bit weird again. There as well. Any others? There as well. Okay. So again, as you can see, a few wee places to put in the BCD triplet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just get it back to normality. There we go. So you can see already the ornamentation's beginning to build up quite a bit. So we've got half rolls, we've got full rolls, we've got triplets. You can sometimes also put in the triplet if there's an E to a G. here, for example. So that's what we're going to put in. Just let me paste this first of all and then drag it up. So this should be E, F sharp, and G. I'm just realizing I should have done this for these guys. Yeah. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So B, C, D. That should be just a capital B. Okay, let's just paste those in properly for everyone. So there. And I want it there. Yeah. There. Yep. I want it there. I want it there. Anywhere else? I think that's it. Okay. So 2 half rolls, loads of full rolls, and how many BCD triplets? 1, 2, 3, 4. Not bad. And also a little E to F, E, F sharp, and G triplet as well. So yeah, that's not as common, nowhere near as common as the BCD triplet. So definitely worth learning that little da-da-dum, ba-ba-bum. I'll be playing it later, but it's basically, it'll look something like B, C, and then D. Even sometimes playing the C sharp doesn't actually matter. Ba-ba-bum, because it's played so quickly. It should be technically C natural, but you know, it's okay. As long as it's played quickly and it's not noticeable, it's the sort of effect that you're looking for. Da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum. So we've got our full rolls, half rolls, our BCD triplet, our F, our E, F sharp, and G triplet. What else do I put in ornamentation wise? There's variations I put in as well, but it's important to get the ornamentations first. Let me see. I think the next thing would probably just be cuts. Now, usually when I put in a cut, it's going to be on the beat, usually. And it'll usually be approached by a note that's lower. So we see right at the very start. You can put a cut in there if you want as well. Right before him, which would be... It would look just like a little accidental again. A little ornament, I should say. But it's only on its own. It's just a cut. It's not part of a full roll or anything. So it's usually cut by the note above. So it's approached by the note below and then cut by the note above. So let me see. Probably better to put it in here, actually. Let's try that again. Yeah, here. Just move them up a wee smidgen. I'm going to color these guys orange, I think, just to make them stand out. Okay. Same thing again, I suppose, here. Let me see, where did he go? Here. You could put it in here as well. Yeah, why not? There as well. Same place. Yeah, here as well. Just gonna move him up a wee bit to make it a bit clear. You could put in triplets there as well if you really wanted to. So wait, let's put them all in. Do 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 do. Yep, there and here. So that's going to be just changing over the pitch, F sharp, G and A. So notice that when we're putting in triplets, guys, it's usually separated by the gap of a third, skip of a third. You can do it going downwards, like here. That's very popular in pipes. Going downwards from that G down to the F sharp down to the E. Yeah, that's very popular for uilleann pipes. I'm not going to do it here because we're doing it more for tin whistle, but you could, if you're doing like sort of staccato tight playing on the uilleann pipes, put a little triplet going from that G down to the E. That's the sort of sound and effect you'd be looking for. Okay, back to cuts. No cuts in the second part. Okay. Let me see. Oh, another BCD triplet. I'm probably not going to put all of these in when I play it, but I'm just going to show you guys everything that I can find. That could be cut because it's approached from beneath, and yeah, it's out on its own. You can also make that a half roll if you like. I'm not going to. I'm just going to make it a cut place because I've already got loads of rolls before and afterwards. But you could put in a half roll there if you wanted to on that G. Here as well for the C. Okay. That is now going to be an orange part. That'll make it stand out a wee bit nicer. Here as well. Oops. I didn't take. I'm just going to do that again. Orange. Oh. Does it not like me trying to decorate individual things? Yeah. Okay, I can do them individually, but not as a group. Okay. That's weird. Let's see if I can do this a faster way. Can I select that, and that, and change it? Yeah, okay, that's good. Radio, let me see any others. Don't see anything that second half, definitely not here. Make them orange, I'll make them really stand out if I do. And here, orange. Maybe it's because the lyrics as well, like we've got ornaments, the note and the lyrics all at once being changed in color, so sometimes the program can be a bit funny. But what you've selected and how many things you're trying to change at once. Okay. What does this actually sound like? That's about as far as I would go. As for ornamentation, that's a lot. I probably wouldn't do all of them, to be brutally honest. And we haven't even looked at variations of it, so yeah, you don't want to be going too far with this. But I'm putting them all in so you can decide what you want to do. What you want to keep in, what you want to keep out. Okay, is that everything? Yeah, I'd say that's it fully ornamented. Let me have a quick run through just before I let you guys hear. A lot of triplets. Okay. Yeah, sometimes I do put that in. So that little F sharp, sorry, E F sharp G triplet. It's propped up a few places. Didn't as much more than I thought it would. It's 1, 2, 3. Any others? Yeah, 3 times. Thought it was only going to be the once, but it's 3 times. There you go. Either or. I would do either the roll or the cut. Whatever you prefer. Yeah, not biggest fan of it. I'll leave it in just in case you want to put it there. Not my cup of tea. Okay. I think I did do a little variation of this as well. See how plankety plonky it is? It's not what you want. It'll be a lot smoother when you actually perform it properly. You could put in. You see the way we've got. You could do that 3 times. Whoops. So this thing here, instead of going. You could do that roll 3 times. Sometimes I go E F G F E F G. So instead of that's going to be a ripe area of variation. You can put in 3 rolls, or you can put in like syncopated feel. Whatever you prefer. Okay, let's play it up to full speed with the ornaments written in. If I can activate our tin whistle, here we go. Okay, I'll just do the first half. Put those cuts in if you can. Or this could be. Or it could be. Whatever you prefer. If it's like all based around the E and the G, yeah, you can do just loads of E to G rolls, or just E, F, G, E, F sharp and G, sort of syncopated. So here's this first line, 3 different ways, as written, or with the rolls repeated, or with the syncopation. So here it is as is. Or that's the third possibility. So up to sort of full speed. Okay, so that's the first half. The second part, well, that's the first part, I should say, not the first half. That's the first part, or the A section. This is the B section, which isn't repeated, unusually. Okay. I probably wouldn't put in all three of those. So I probably wouldn't put in the F G one. I'd separate them out. So yeah, I probably wouldn't put in the F G one in the middle, but it's up to yourself. And then the final part, which is repeated, the C part. And then the triplet. Okay, so that's as many little ornaments as I would put in, and a couple of variations there too. Okay, so the final thing, guys. Final thing. What are we going to do? Add some Bouzouki to it. So hopefully my Bouzouki's going to work. This will be fun. Actually, I better check the audio just to make sure that worked. I'm just going to go back and check. And then the triplet. Yeah, it's coming through okay. Yeah, good stuff. Okay, let's add in the final part, the Bouzouki part. See what it sounds like. I've got to remember to go back to normal thing. Every time I do this, is always check. Yeah, take out the tin muscle, the OBS, and then that'll be us good to go. So here's the final thing, guys. Actually, I'll just save that first of all. Better check my levels, sorry. Sorry guys, I check my levels. I always forget to do this when I'm doing Bouzouki and whistle together. Don't want to be drowning myself out. Let's see what it sounds like. Oh, better check my levels, sorry. I'm a bit loud for the Bouzouki because usually that's what I do with this for the Bouzouki stuff. But yeah, well let's just show you the Bouzouki cam. You don't need to see this. You're probably better actually seeing what's going on with the Bouzouki. If I do hand strumming here, and then I think up high here, that should be it, shouldn't it? Okay, so it's obviously it's going to be an A Dorian, so Kappa 1/7. Okay, the tuning. Believe it or not, it's the Bouzouki's in tune. Yeah, everything's blue. Okay, so the whistle is recorded a wee bit out of tune, which is not good. Let's see if we can go in and just change it a wee smidgen. Pitch shifter maybe is the one. Let me hear it. That's not what I'm looking for at all. Actually sounds worse. So that's what the whistle should be. It's a wee bit sharp. Okay, so I'm gonna have to figure out a way of making this a little bit flatter. It's probably too much. That's the thing. Probably easier if I just tuned it. That means having to put everything out. Do you know what it might be easier to do is, let me see. If I can get the, yeah, the original, that's the original recording of it there, I think. Let me put this into, yeah. I think it's the last recording I did of it. I did it, I think, I don't know how many times I recorded it, but I'm going to open it up with Vision, and I think it was the last one. And I'm going to just put it into correction. I only realized when I, okay, oh, how many did I record? I'm going to play that. Okay, I don't think it's any of those. Let's see if I can extract this then. Selection, yeah. Tuned up. Tuning issues. Tuning issues. Desktop. It shouldn't take a 10 seconds to do. Because it's really only just doing this bounce stuff. It's not doing any of the bar on and the shimmer shake of their session percussion. It's just the audio, hopefully. Now when I click on that, yeah, okay, so let me put that through pitch switch and see, does that make a difference? No, I won't change it. See if any changes. Okay. And I'm just gonna see if I can, for this, do fine adjust pitch. I'll turn off logic. Don't actually need logic for this, just in case this messes it up. And I probably don't even need the notation anymore, but I'll leave it open just in case. Okay, I think that's getting closer. Okay, so it's like 0.2 of a semitone out, so it's not that much, but it's enough to make, because it's all high up and high pressure on those strings, and they're quite tight, it's, you know, noticeable, even though it's only out by a little bit. Okay, so Maids tuned, I'm going to call it. Just have it there. And then we can open that up with Vision, as usual, and just keep looping this. Doodle-dum. Oh. Let's try that again. Oh, for goodness sake, I'll get it back to the start. Why is it not playing? Why does it keep stopping there? Sorry guys, technical issues as usual. Desktop, save, replace whatever's there just in case it's messing up. Audio hijack, just gonna quit that. Quit this, and yeah, I don't need that anymore either. Okay, hopefully this works now. Let me see. Okay. If I just increase the brightness a wee bit so we can see what we're doing. Hopefully this works. Let's see. Some reason it's not liking. So the Bouzouki's okay today, but my computer is fighting me. I don't know why. Let's see. If I just take out that ending and just play it not selected. Okay, that'll... Okay, that's something that I think I heard in the original, the first time I heard it on the Morning Rory, Michael McGoldrick album. I'm going to show you guys what I think that is. I think it's I'll have to check, but I was just going to do the sort of traditional way of doing it, but I think there was a little sort of riff that his accompanist played it. I can't remember what it is though. Like that, is it? It's something like that. I'm close, but it's not exactly that. It's very close. There is a little... something like that, is it? I wish I could play it, but I can't because of copyright. But you guys should check it out. Either that or it's this. I think the reason why I was doing it wrong was when I do that and lift my finger off, it does like a pull off thing where you end up hearing the fourth chorus open, and you don't want that. So maybe when you do the hammer onto that second fret in the fourth chorus, you should leave your finger there and then do. Okay, so the beginning is just... very traditional. Or you could do like a... like some fancier chords. We could try that to see what it sounds like. stopping every so often. I don't know why it's doing that. Yeah, apologies for this, guys. There's something about the... Just gonna save the cue sheet again. Just to see if there's something wrong about the program. I'm gonna close it and open it up. To quit everything. And open it back up. I'll have to check that out to see how close that is, but I think it's close enough. Okay. I'm just going to let the program sort itself out, guys. There's something not quite right with Vision tonight. God, everything has just gone wrong the last 2 days. But at least it's all in the one time. Okay, if I just extract that. Okay, let's just close that down. There's something not quite right with it. I'm just going to open it up in a different program and just hit loop. It's never as good, the loop, because there's always a pause, but let's see. Okay, it's messy, but we're close. The only thing I need to do is practice that little... can't get that right. I want to go down there for some reason, but it doesn't sound right. There's definitely something I'm missing, and I'll go over the album. So this is, again, Michael McGoldrick's Morning Rory, track 10, The Maids of Mount Cisco. I'm trying to remember the accompaniment to it from, well, it was 1996, so how long ago was that? Okay, so... nearly had it. I've forgotten it again. That's just what I was doing before. I think I nearly had what it was there. I'm going to try it one more time and see if it comes. If it doesn't, not to worry. I will get it right at some stage. Okay, here we go. Okay, we'll leave it there. So I wasn't planning on making this into a full Bouzouki thing anyway, but the whole point of tonight's Ask Me Anything was to answer the question, how do you turn something that's written down into like a more sort of traditional sound? And what we were looking at was the Maids of Mount Cisco. Okay, and this is what we ended up with. So you don't have to put in ornamentation and variation everywhere, but it should be heavily, laden with ornamentation and variation, but you don't have to put it in at every available opportunity. I've put it in at every available opportunity here just to show you guys where you can put in triplets, where you can put in cuts, where you can put in full rolls or half rolls, and those tend to be the main ones for me anyway, playing the whistle and the flute and the pipes, and maybe crayons if I was doing, playing something in D or D mixolydian. But here, like for example, I would not put in like 3 triplets in a row. Maybe if it was a hornpipe, I would. Something like that. But for a reel, probably not. I'd probably just do these as straight quavers in the middle. So this would be yeah. Yeah, so I wouldn't do that's too much. So the main thing is, can you do it on the tunes that you're learning? Look for anywhere. This is the sort of key takeaways. Look for anywhere where there's 3 notes next to each other that are the same pitch. Now that could be 3 quavers, it could be a crotchet and a quaver, or it could be a dotted crotchet. Doesn't matter. All of 3 of them are worth 3 quavers. If it's possible to do that, where you have 3 of the same pitch next to each other in a row like that, put in a full row for that pitch. In this case, we were looking at A full rolls and G full rolls as well. And also higher and low octaves, doesn't matter. A high, G high, full A high rolls, full G high rolls. So the octave doesn't matter where you're doing it. It's exactly the same technique. That's the first thing. Second thing is, if you've come across somewhere where there's 2 notes that are the same, especially if this is on the beat, like 2 quavers or 2 crotchets, then make that a half roll. Okay, so like we have in red here, these are my half rolls because these were originally crotchets. So I've turned them into half rolls, these G's. Crotchets are now G half rolls. That's the second thing. The third thing then is wherever you've got a B, C, or B to a D quaver, like a gap of a third, in other words, you can put in a triplet there. Now remember, this is just like the rolls. It's not exactly a triplet. It's probably played more like 2 semiquavers and a quaver, but this is how you would see it notated down. So this is all about what you see on the page, but remember, what you see on the page is rarely what you should be playing. Okay, so BCD is not ba ba ba. It should be ba 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 da da da. So 2 semiquavers and a quaver is definitely closer, but it'll be written like this. And that also works. That same logic of the gap of a third, that works if you've got like an E to a G or an F sharp to an A. And especially if you're an uilleann piper, if it's going downwards, like here we have a G going to an E, and here we have a G going to an E, you can have like a little da-da-dum, ba-ba-bum, very close fingering for the G, F sharp, and E going down. Ba-ba-bum, boom, ba-ba-ba-bum, da-da-da-da-da-da-dum. Don't do it so much in the flute or the whistle, but it's possible if you want to put it in. Why not? So that will be your triplets. So full rolls, half rolls, triplets. The last thing I would put in would be your cuts. Now cuts are just single on their own, and usually that happens on the beat. There's a couple there I've tried to do off the beat, but most of the time when you come across a cut, it'll be on the beat. The note should be approached by the previous note from below, and you will cut from the note above. So you can see for this example, this A was approached by a G, but I'm cutting with the B above it. This G was approached by an F sharp, but I'm cutting with the A above it. Okay. And there may be a couple of others. Yeah, this G was approached from an E underneath. I'm cutting with the A above it. And this E was approached by an A underneath. I'm cutting with the F sharp above it. So anytime you've got a note that you could, on the beat especially, most of those are on the beat, you can cut that note if it's approached by a note beneath it. Okay, not so much if it's approached by a note above, but it's possible. It's just a wee bit more awkward. These are the normal places where you like to put in your cuts. Okay, radio. We'll leave it there for today, guys. And yeah, I think the Bouzouki's actually getting better, but now I have program issues with Vision, so it never stops. There's always something that can be improved, which keeps it interesting anyway. Keeps it what's the word? Yeah, nerve-wracking. And I'm doing these things. Is everything going to finally work someday? Who knows? We'll see. We'll find out for next week. So next Tuesday, guys, back to practice with me, 6:15. I'll see you there. Like and subscribe, and I hope to hear from you again soon. Have a great weekend, everyone. See yous.